Good evening, Robert Scribbler with the OBX wave report, filming south and east from Jeanette's Pier at a pretty choppy North Atlantic Ocean, although things are starting to calm down here at Nags Head. Waves in the range of 3 to 4 foot with the occasional 5 foot comber rolling in here on the outside. Conditions starting to calm down with winds coming out of the northwest at about 10 to 15 miles an hour right now. Much rougher earlier. Last night we had 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts, some tornado watches and warnings, some thunderstorms, and strong southerly winds, then switching hard out of the north and northwest. But now everything is trending more toward calm as we've got a high pressure system building in from the west. So the general trend over the next few days will be toward calmer conditions. All right, so let's look at some of the local observations up and down the coastlines provided by the wave monitors, our buoy data, and our National Weather Service data. Here at Nags Head, waves in the range of 3 to 4 foot with some 5 footers in there. Still relatively choppy conditions, but things getting calmer. As you can see, there's definitely still some texture and some chop in the water though. Southeast swell coming in at 4 foot and 10 seconds. Northwesterly winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Air temperature is pretty cold right now, 47 degrees Fahrenheit. Ocean water temperatures a little bit warmer at 57. And we are looking forward to a high tide tonight at between 5 and 6 p.m., which is about 1 to 1.5 hours off. To our south in Rodanthe, we've got 4 to 5 foot waves and choppy conditions. Southeast swell coming in at 5 foot and 10 seconds. Northwest winds at around 15 miles per hour. Air temperatures 46 degrees. Ocean water temperatures also at 57. And at Buxton, waves in the range of 3 to 4 foot and fair. But did not get glassy at Buxton. The wind angle was not quite enough to provide glacier surf. However, there might have still been some barrels down there at Buxton with those south-southeast swells coming in at around 5 foot and 9 seconds. Northwesterly winds now calming down to around 15 miles per hour. Air temperatures at Buxton also 47 degrees. Water temperatures cooling down at Buxton in the 60 degree range. And last of all, at Frisco, waves in the range of 3 to 5 foot and clean. So cleaner conditions down there at Frisco. And actually, I think that will be the story for Frisco for most of the week. If you're looking for clean surf, you might need to go south to Frisco, as things will tend to be a bit dicier up here on the northern beaches right now. Frisco experiencing a south-southeasterly swell at around 5.5 foot and 9 seconds. Okay, let's talk weather forecast and wave forecast for the next few days. The storm front that brought the gale force winds, the thunderstorms, and the tornado warnings to the Outer Banks is now offshore. And you can see some of those clouds associated with that front offshore as we look toward the south and the east. Today we had temperatures, oh, look at that one on the outside there, relatively big one. Today we had temperatures in the mid to upper 40s and windy conditions, 3 to 5, 3 to 6 foot waves, and mostly choppy this afternoon, with some areas such as Buxton and Frisco looking at fair to clean conditions. By tomorrow, that cold high pressure system to our west is going to settle in with some lighter winds and calmer 2 to 4 foot waves. Choppy to fair conditions to the north. So up here in Nags Head, choppy to fair. Rodanthe similar, choppy to fair. And then further south, like Salvo, Avon, Buxton, and Frisco, fair to clean conditions with those 2 to 4 foot waves presiding. Once again, cold temperatures or colder temperatures with highs in the upper 40s, though not going to feel quite as cold with those calmer conditions. And then on Wednesday, it is going to be calm in the morning with mostly clean 2 to 3 foot waves up and down the Outer Banks from morning until around noontime, maybe a little bit afternoon, maybe lasting until around 1. and then we get another weather impulse coming in later in the afternoon with stronger northerly winds by the afternoon, chopping up the surf Monday afternoon. But a nice little window in there Wednesday morning for some calmer conditions. So looking actually pretty decent for Tuesday and Wednesday here on the east facing beaches. And if you want to go and in search of some cleaner surf, Frisco is definitely the spot to be this week, with generally more northerly winds prevailing and clean conditions at Frisco and fair to clean conditions at Buxton. All right, so thank you for joining me for this session, this Monday, the 11th of December session of the OBX Wave Report. I am Robert Scribbler, your wave reporter here, and I'm going to go ahead and urge you to enjoy the wonderful surfing that is now being done over at the Vans Pipeline Masters. The waves have gotten smaller down there at Pipeline, but nonetheless there's still some radical maneuvers going on. Some serious errors were had yesterday in the smaller, cleaner conditions, and definitely something to watch. It's always good to watch those amazing surfers competing at the Vans Pipeline Masters, to do some mind surfing and to mentally practice your own surfing technique and pick up what you can by watching some of the experts in the field, some of the best surfers in the world right now there at the Vans Pipeline Masters, both free surfers and professional surfers, all getting there in the water, having some great rides, some great camaraderie, and some great but not too I guess vicious competition going on. Just all good fun to be had by all. And once again, I'd like to ask you guys to please help do everything you can to help speed the mass deployment of clean energy to protect our coastlines from the impacts of climate change. We do have fantastic clean energy policy coming out of the Democratic Party, with Biden and the Democrats being in power. Recently, we've had some great policies helping to advance clean energy moving forward, but we all really need to get on board, regardless of our political affiliation or our preference for politics, to help get that clean energy out there and defend our coastlines from the impacts of climate change driven by fossil fuel burning. Without the mass deployment of clean energy, we're going to be looking at rising sea levels and more rapidly rising sea levels, more intense storms, and terrible ocean acidification and ocean heat waves that destroy our coral reefs, from the burning of fossil fuels and the related heating of the oceans and the atmosphere. So we don't want that, and we can certainly mass deploy that clean energy, and we can get it done to save all of the beautiful beaches and all of the coral reefs and all of the wonderful ocean environment and the sea life that we enjoy so much. So thank you for joining me once again for this session of the OBX Wave Report. Hope you guys get out in the water and enjoy some good surf. I will be back with you shortly.